ITA for asking out the cute barista I see every morning after I found out her age. Jenny, could this be about you? By you _barista_. I go to the same cafe most mornings, and for the past week, I've been getting served by the same girl. She was cute and kinda endearing, but her age was definitely on the ambiguous side, and I didn't want to come off as a creep. Well, I went to go get a drink with a very good friend of mine, Ryan, and I was chatting up the same barista, Lindsay. Lindsay mentioned she just graduated a couple weeks ago and is just working here for the summer. So I asked if she was 18 then, and she replied yes. So then I proceeded to offer to take her out to dinner. She sort of giggled and said she had a boyfriend, but she's flattered. As far as rejections go, it was pretty graceful. Well, Ryan later came up to me and said the people in line were making fun of me because I was an old creep hitting on a high schooler. For reference, I'm 29, but I have a full beard and powerlifted in college. People often mistake me to be in my upper 30s, mid 40s. I told him he should have stuck up for me, and he said, nah, man. I was agreeing with them. It was actually pretty embarrassing for me to be in public with you while you were hitting on high schoolers. I maintained that she was well above legal. 16 is the age of consent in my state, and she was an adult. People need to mind their own business. He said, quote, well, hit on teenagers on your own time, but don't do it in public with me anymore. I was going to say something back, but I just dropped the subject. I think Ryan's overreacting and is being sensitive to normal human interaction. She's been nice and flirty with me since I started seeing her, so I wanted to shoot my shot. Am I really the asshole for asking her out?
They're not flirting. She's at work, right? From an outside perspective, you're like, oh yeah, they were flirting and she's 18. She can vote. She can date old guys. That's fine. But no, when you're at work and you're in a situation like that, part of providing good service in the service industry is being friendly and smiling. And a lot of those things are the same. If there's a Venn diagram of like good customer service and flirting, there's a lot in the middle. As a human, not just, men, women, all genders, right? You should just assume that the person who you are handing money to over a counter probably doesn't want to sleep with you.
She did say she was flattered.
Lucas, that's a graceful thing for her to say after...
That's what women say because we're afraid of men. The first thing I want to say is that I hate him. Mostly I hate him because he admits upright that she looked like a child. And then even after he finds out, even after, creepy. Right? Also, like, it's gross. I'm sorry, but also, like, 16 being the legal age of consent, that doesn't mean, like, 16, that means I can bang 16-year-olds in this state. No, it means that at 16, she's allowed to decide if she wants to have sex, period.
I want to talk about what, to me, is an obvious asshole move, which is...
putting parentheses around that 16 is the age of consent in my state. Like, he has that ready to go.
He looked into it because he was like, oh, that girl at the coffee shop, I don't know how old she is, but let me see how young she can be and I can still dick it,
But am I an asshole if I'm 29 and the girl across the counters, I think, throwing me some signals? I tip her. I see her, twice a week, 3 times a week. I go for it. I shoot my shot. I say, hey, can I get your number, Abigail?
You just shouldn't ask out people who are trapped behind a counter. She can't go anywhere. She has to be nice to you. She even had to reject him nicely. She could have thought he was a creep. She could have been like, aren't you a little old for me? But she's afraid, especially because she's 18. This might be her first job. Like, she's in a really vulnerable position. She doesn't want to get in trouble. She doesn't want to lose her job. She wants to make tips. And then here's this guy who's like, want to date me? Like, first of all, I don't think she has a boyfriend. I think she was lying.
Of course she was. But I want to go. I'm not sold on the fact that it's necessarily bad to hit on someone who's serving you. Is it? Doesn't that make it more fun? Then it's like you're out.
Yeah, for you. That girl's at work. She talks to hundreds of guys
but not
a day.
That girl, she's 18. She's a child. I'm talking about like a career bartender. You didn't have any fun when people were hitting on you, gave some spice to your day. Like, it's not creepy.
Sometimes it was fun, but most of the time it was uncomfortable. And sorry, but you don't get to be the judge of whether or not I should be having fun or if I'm uncomfortable. I'm not saying you specifically, even though I pointed at you. I'm saying like this guy, right? Like, he's like, well, she was being fun and flirty, so I wasn't being an asshole.
I'm trying to understand because I can't go around. I want to be able to tell people you don't hit on people who serve you.
Of course.
And I can't defend that right now. So I need you to bring me on board for that. Why is it so bad? Then you say, hey, look, I'm not interested. Why is that such a big deal?
Because you don't know if that's how they're going to react. I have rejected people and they've been like, cool, no problem. And they've respected that.
Right.
But then I've rejected people and they've been really scary and he knows where she works. I work really close to my home. So most of the people at that coffee shop that I work at, they know where I live. And so I don't want to reject someone in a way that might hurt their feelings. I don't know what kind of people they are. I don't know if they're going to wait for me after the shop closes and it's dark. I don't know if they're going to hurt me. I don't know if they're going to follow me home. It's a scary position to be in.
It's the uncertainty. They don't know that you're a good guy who's going to take the rejection. And that's scary. That's uncomfortable.
And so we have to treat everybody like they're psycho killers, basically.
Yeah. Water Buffalo 750 writes, not the asshole. Apparently, I'm in the minority here. You asked, she said no, and you left it at that. As far as age differences go, as long as everyone is legal and consenting, people need to mind their own business. This is gaslight by proxy. You asked, she said no, and you left it at that. So it still affected her.
Exactly.
Just because you didn't do more, that doesn't make it okay all of a sudden. I see a lot of this in the group. People need to mind their own business. Mind your business. It's not your business. What do people think they're saying? This is other people's business because it's weird to live in a society where a 29-year-old man is chasing an 18-year-old girl. I don't like that.
I don't like it either. I'm definitely not defending it.
Oh, well, mind your business. No, I'm not going to mind my business. It's wrong.
I don't think it's wrong.
I don't think it's wrong either. And I think
you don't think it's wrong for a 29-year-old to hunt 18-year-olds?
Hunt sounds awful. What
to
I'm
be
saying,
on the prowl for 18-year-olds.
but we don't know if he's on the prowl for 18-year-olds. We know that he had a crush on this girl that he couldn't tell how old she was. That doesn't mean that he's on the. Doesn't mean he was like, oh, I was walking around looking for 18-year-old girls.
He found out she was 18 after not knowing how old she was.
He wanted to make sure that he wouldn't get in trouble for asking her out.
She couldn't have looked younger. She looked so young. She was barely looking 18.
I think this guy's an asshole. I think it's creepy. I agree. However, is it morally wrong for an 18-year-old man to date an 18-year-old girl? Or not 18. Sorry, no. 29 and 18. No, I don't think so. I think that I think age gap love is gross. Sorry, but I don't think it's wrong.
As a person that got sober at 18 years old and had an extremely different 13 through 18 existence where I only hung out with adults and other fellow drug addicts on a regular basis. Like I went to high school, but then I would just go hang out with older people all the time. I would say that my maturity level was a much different level than the people my own age. Like I had so much weird experiences. There's people who are at 12 years old are working 30 hours a week, doing like real job, working really hard, walking their own dogs, taking care of their siblings, taking care of their own children. There's so many variables about age and about like what maturity is. What you're talking about is just like this, like is something that we can't put a rule on because it's like the moment you do, you're like ruining like this ability for someone to actually truly have love.
I see your point. I think I'm not comfortable making a rule about it. I think that it is a case-by-case basis. Love is love. I say when we add it all together, AITA for asking out the cute barista I see every morning after I found out her age, it was inappropriate on at least 2 levels. And I say that adds up to an asshole.
Yep.
YTA.
Asshole.